Instagram is one of the best platforms to grow your influence and your income right now. And in this episode of Coffee with Cannell, I'm going to be talking to Brock Johnson, who's an Instagram expert, and we're going to be learning a lot of stuff. So buckle your seatbelt, because if you want to build a community of loyal followers, if you want the working, proven tactics and strategies that are getting huge results on Instagram right now, if you actually want to get real results and not just more followers that are inactive, and if you're curious about how to make money on Instagram, all of that and more is coming up on this episode of Coffee with Cannell. So let's get into it.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Coffee with Cannell. Sean Cannell here. Let me know what you're drinking in the chat. I'm sipping on some Vesta coffee from Las Vegas, Ethiopian blend, single origin. It's delicious. But shout me out what you're sipping on today. Hey, if you haven't met Brock Johnson, he's a 24-year-old entrepreneur with a passion for helping others grow their following and their business on Instagram. As a co-host of a top 50 business podcast, an instructor of multiple online courses, he's a viral TikTok creator, a former college athlete, and Brock has helped thousands of entrepreneurs learn to build their businesses on social media, even with limited time and money. So if you are ready to learn about some of the newest features, the newest updates, and the newest ways to make a major impact on Instagram, that's what we're talking about today. Plus, we have a cool announcement about a free 3-day Instagram Bootcamp that Brock is doing. Info in the description down below, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's welcome Brock Johnson to Coffee with Cannell today. Brock, how's it going?
Sean, I'm awesome. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm fired up. I mean, a little bit jaded because you had me schedule this at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And but hey, we're here. And I mean, we're caffeinated. I'm ready to go.
We're here. I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go. I think my only disappointment is that we're not doing this in person. We're 45 minutes apart right now. Why are we not sitting across the table from each other?
I know, for real. We just realized that I'm actually at the Seattle Think Media Studios, really north, not even in Seattle, but I just say Seattle because nobody would actually know where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Brock is coming to you from Seattle, Washington. But Brock, I'm so fired up. Let's just get right into this. You got 5 tips for us today.
Mm-hmm.
What's tip number 1?
Yeah, 5 tips, the 5 big changes on Instagram in 2021. The first one is probably going to be pretty evident to everyone, and that's that Reels are the best right now. There's nothing better than Reels on Instagram in terms of your different types of content. They're the best in just about every category. They're getting more engagement than just about anything else. Our studies have shown that they're averaging almost 2 times the reach as your non-Reels. So if you're posting a picture or a normal video or a carousel slideshow to your Instagram and comparing that to your Reels, typically your Reels are getting about double the amount of reach that those non-Reels are. And also another really interesting thing is we talk about shelf life or longevity of content on social media. And typically when we think of Instagram, we think of that as a big problem that content on Instagram has. Because YouTube content can last on for years and years and years. I'm searching things on YouTube all the time and finding a Think Media video from 5 years ago, and it's helping me out today. That's happening a lot less on Instagram. But with Reels, we're noticing something different. We're noticing a trend starting to emerge with Reels. And that's that they're getting discovered and seen, and they're getting shown to large amounts of people days or weeks or months, or we've now even seen, because they've been around for a year, years after they were originally posted. So you can post a Reel today and it might not do so great. It might get relatively average engagement or even below average engagement for what you typically expect. And then suddenly 3 months from now, for whatever reason, it starts picking up views and starts getting seen by thousands of people.
Wow, Brock, that kind of gets me excited, almost like YouTube gets me excited. Most of the people in the Think Media kind of podcast and Think Media podcast channel community love YouTube because it's the only platform where your content lives forever. But to have a longer shelf life, even to the tune of months and years, is super, super exciting. And let me ask you some questions about Reels. We're looking at my Instagram homepage. If I click to the Reels tab, we're seeing for those. In fact, let me know in the chat or in the comments, have you posted a reel yet? Have you experimented with reels? And my question for you is, how long can you post reels up to, and what does it take to unlock the longer length?
Yeah. So as of right now, you can record up to 60-second reels. And according to Instagram, everyone should have access to up to 60-second reels. There's no criteria you need to hit or certain amount of followers or certain amount of, engagement that you need to unlock this feature. Everyone is supposed to have 60-second reels, yet some people can only go up to 30 seconds. Some people can even only go up to 15. And I've even heard there's plenty of people who still don't even have access to reels, even though they are supposed to. It's not that Instagram hates you. It's not that, Mark Zuckerberg or Adam Mosseri is out to get you. It's just an unfortunate glitch in the system that unfortunately, not quite all users have access to all of the same features just yet. But technically, everyone is supposed to have access to Reels and the full 60-second recording option.
Amazing. And so, some people are saying they haven't done any reels yet. They've done, carousels. Men Pursuing Excellence is doing reels, and Explore with Andy is doing reels. So Brock, you're saying if we're spending time on Instagram, we need to be doing reels, period.
Yeah, absolutely. If you only have time to make one post per day on Instagram, one feed post, that is, I would prioritize making a reel. Just because right now they have that golden ticket type of virality component. They can reach massive amounts of people. I like to say that they're like lottery tickets. And so, Sean, how do you increase your odds of winning the lottery? You got three options. You either pray really, really hard, you catch a leprechaun, or the most reliable way to win the lottery is you buy a lot of lottery tickets. And so let's translate that into social media and Instagram speak. The way you increase your odds of winning the lottery on Instagram, having a post go viral, is you post more reels.
Amazing. I'm pumped to also catch a leprechaun, though. That's my dream, and get me Lucky Charms. But hey, what's tip number 2?
Yeah. So tip number 2, and this one, I hope, is a breath of fresh air and a sigh of relief for everyone. And that's that hashtags should no longer be your focus. And I might be so bold as to say that hashtags don't really even matter too much. There's been a lot of talk over the last year or two about different things that Instagram is introducing to replace hashtags. They're really beefing up their searching capabilities. They're really beefing up their artificial intelligence. They're beefing up their own ability to search for keywords and to categorize your posts without relying on you to do so with hashtags. And that was really the point that hashtags existed for, was to be a way for you to categorize your posts. It's kind of like adding a keyword or a tag to your YouTube videos. But hashtags are no longer really that important. We're starting to see that they're very, very, very inconsistent at best. Even the top list, even if you hired a team of 15 experts to get you this perfect list of hashtags, our studies are showing that they're just still not very consistent. Even this finely tuned, perfect list is just not very consistent and not very reliable. And so my point that I've been making recently, my argument that I've been making, is that we should all just stop stressing out so much about hashtags. I don't think there's something that we should be spending hours every single day researching and what's my best list, and oh, did this one work or did this one work? And there's also a million different best practices. I've heard people say you should use 30. I've heard Instagram themselves, literally Instagram staff, say you should use 8 to 15. And then I heard Instagram again last week, they changed it up and they said, no, you should probably only use 3 to 5. And yet they allow you to use 30. So why wouldn't they allow us to use all 30? So it's very confusing. It's very unreliable. And for that reason, I say that we just shouldn't stress about them. There's a lot better focuses and ways that we can spend our time. And I will say this, and people might not like to hear this. If you're not growing on Instagram, it's not because of your hashtags.
That's a money tip right there. And that's one of those new updates that is important to pay attention to, because you don't want to be spinning your wheels and wasting your time on the things that are not making an impact and the things that don't matter. Well, you have 3 more updates that we're going to get into. We also have some questions coming in and we want to answer your questions about Instagram. But today's episode is actually brought to by a free boot camp you're doing, brought to Coffee with Cannell by the free 3-day Grow Your Gram boot camp. I can't wait because the Think Media team and I are going to participate in this because we need to level up our Instagram. If you want to get a free ticket, it's at bestigtips.com. Of course, there's a link in the description down below. Brock, what's happening with this boot camp?
Yeah, I'm super fired up for this boot camp. So this boot camp is my mom and I. I think that's the first thing I want to say is that it's my mom and I. And so for people who don't know my mom, she's not just like some random old lady who happens to be joining me to hang out for this boot camp. I like to say like my mom's like an OG when it comes to the digital marketing space. She's got over 700,000 followers on Instagram. She's made millions of dollars in sales on Instagram, growing 5 different businesses in different niches and genres. And so we're teaming up to bring you this free boot camp. And that's the first thing I want to make sure is very clear about the boot camp. It's totally free. And like Sean said, it's bestigtips.com. But in the boot camp, we're going to be teaching you not just how to grow your following, not just how to increase your engagement and get some more views, because that stuff is cool. But at the end of the day, we're all business owners. We want to know, how can I leverage this platform to grow my email list, to grow my subscriber list, to grow my customer list? How can I actually make sales on Instagram? And that's really what we're going to be focusing on during the 3-day Grow Your Gram Bootcamp, is we're going to actually teach you the insider secrets of how we've been able to sell and convert with our accounts, with all of our clients' accounts, in just about every industry, every niche. And we're going to give templates, Sean. We're going to give breakdowns of exactly what to say, where selling happens, the trust formula, and all of that good stuff. So I really want to encourage anyone, even if you don't have 1,000 followers yet, or you don't have a landing page, or you don't necessarily even have a business or a product to sell yet, head to bestigtips.com and grab your free ticket.
Amazing. And so we, of course, link that up in the description down below. And we've collabed with Brock and Shalene in the past. And so we definitely wanted to get that on your radar. But so far, you've said, number one, Reels. We got to be using Reels. Reels are getting free game. Reels are getting the reach and even living with a longer shelf life. Don't pay too much attention to hashtags. That's a major change. Everyone freaks out about those little tactics and thinks that there's a magical hashtag, kind of like a magical YouTube tag that's going to like unlock, you know, the leprechauns, but that's just not how it works. And so with that, what's your next tip and update that we need to know and pay attention to?
Yeah, so this one came out a few months ago, and this was from Adam Mosseri, who is the head of Instagram. He's the CEO of Instagram, and he posted a video on his channel basically saying that we are no longer a photo sharing app. And everyone lost their mind. It'd be like if YouTube's CEO said we are no longer a video sharing app. And so everyone lost their mind and they started saying, we can't grow if we're not using video. Posts and photos are dead. They'll never work anymore. This app is totally changed. What is going on? And what I think we really all needed to realize from what he said is that really Instagram is no longer just a photo sharing app. And since 2012, when Instagram added video to the platform for the first time, it's been no longer just a photo sharing app. So I want to, first of all, calm everyone's nerves and say that if you don't like video, and I know that we're a YouTube audience here and we love video, but if you don't post videos and reels on Instagram, it's okay. You can still grow. But if you are doing video, video is king on Instagram. It absolutely is. I know we talked about reels earlier, but even just yesterday, Instagram made another big announcement, and that's that they're pretty much going to be dissolving IGTV. And so for people who don't know what IGTV is, it is the long form video component of Instagram. It's basically Instagram's way to compete with YouTube. Oftentimes people take their YouTube videos and just post them as IGTVs. So Instagram isn't removing the ability to post long form videos. What they're actually doing, Sean, is they're combining IGTVs, which are any video on Instagram longer than a minute, with just normal Instagram videos, which are any videos on Instagram shorter than a minute. And they're just making it one big umbrella category called Instagram video. And so it might look on the surface like Instagram is turning away from video or they're moving away from IGTV, but really this shows us that they're trying to make long form video and video in general more accessible and more broadly consumed on the Instagram platform.
Sheesh, man. Wow. 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 That's like some hot news right off the presses. And I think that's super interesting because, of course, we repurpose a lot of our YouTube content and we put it into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-minute clips. But super interesting. With that being said, video is king. And so we got to stay on our toes. That's the power of this boot camp too. Man, so much I need to know, Brock, but let me know if, do you use IGTV? Are you using Reels? How much are you posting on Instagram? And what is maybe the most effective content format that you've been posting on Instagram? Coffee with Cannell crew. All right. Hit us with the next one, Brock.
Yeah. The next one is that all forms of engagement matter on Instagram. And I would even go so far as to say that all forms of engagement on Instagram are pretty much equal. There was this, this blog that came out in 2017 stating that saves are the new like. There's no such like likes don't matter anymore. You know, when someone double taps a photo, those don't matter anymore. And now saves are all that matter. And the article went so far as to claim that saves are like super likes and that saves are the magic trick. They get you out of the shadow ban and they're the most important form of engagement for blowing up your Instagram. Fast forward about 2 or 3 years and a couple media agencies found this old blog post and they turned it into an Instagram infographic, like a text post on Instagram. And it said, it put them in order. It put the forms of engagement in order. And it said that saves are a super like. They're the most important form of engagement. And then shares were number 2. And then comments. And then likes were the least important. And you shouldn't really worry about likes. And this post went viral. But I love the reason it went viral. It went viral because people were sharing it a ton. People were liking it. They were commenting on it. They were engaging with it in every way besides just saving it. And so the point that I want to make is that all forms of engagement matter. Saves are not a super like. Likes matter. Comments matter of any length. Saves, shares, all of those things matter. And actually, there's plenty of forms of engagement that we don't think about necessarily because we don't see them tracked in our stats that matter as well, such as views. Are people coming back to your videos? Are people going from your post that you just made to your profile and spending some time there? Or are they just continuing to scroll with the rest of the apps? There's a lot more engagement than meets the eye, so to speak. But that's a tip that I want to give for everyone is that all forms of engagement matter. And so you shouldn't just prioritize or only focus on one. Some posts you should encourage commenting. Sometimes you should give a call to action relating to sharing or just related to liking your post. All forms of engagement matter, and we shouldn't forget about everything else besides saves.
Man, that's a big insight. And if you haven't actually connected with Brock on Instagram, you can see his handle on the screen, Brock11 Johnson. I've learned so much from Brock. So what I'm hearing is that if someone likes my post, that's good. If someone leaves a comment, that's great. If someone shares it, that's also potentially great because that also could lead them sharing it to reach new people besides just the algorithmic reach. If someone saves it, that's good. But also if someone dwells on it, and it's kind of like, think about how YouTube works. Watch time, average view duration. They want time on platform. And they're if you skip off one video, but you spend time on somebody else's video, the YouTube algorithm's like, oh, we like that you're spending time on this person's video. We should show it to more people because that kind of video keeps people on platform. Thus, potentially a carousel that someone swipes across, they're staying on that post longer. Potentially a caption that someone spends time reading, or even if they click read more, that would be an action, right, Brock?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great one, Sean. And that brings me to another point, which is that everyone believes you need to write a long caption. Or your video, if it can be up to 60 seconds, it needs to be the full 60 seconds. That's great as long as you're holding people's attention. So like Sean said, if you can write an engaging caption below your Instagram post and get people to tap on that read more and get them to spend some time dwelling on your post, Well, that's going to be great for the Instagram algorithm because Instagram is noticing that people are spending time with your content. But if you can't get people to read that caption, if you can't get them to swipe through your full post or to watch your full video, and instead at the 4-second mark, they're bored, they're over it, and they're going to continue scrolling, and they might leave the app altogether, that's disadvantageous for your Instagram account, and that's going to hurt you in the algorithm. And then one other thing that you mentioned, Sean, that I wanted to bring up again is that, yes, shares, if I had to pick my favorite or my most preferred form of engagement, it's a share. And that's because, of course, when someone shares my content, at least one other person is guaranteed to see it. So it's a way to reach new people without relying on the algorithm.
Man, super powerful. If you've been getting value out of this video, can we get it to 50 likes, Coffee with Cannell crew? Smash that like button and maybe share this video with somebody who needs this Instagram information. Dawn actually says this is extremely valuable information. I got to get back to work though. Will this be posted on YouTube later? Yes, you can catch the replay here. And if you haven't subscribed to the Think Media podcast channel, this is where we do the Coffee with Cannell show. And we have guests like Brock bringing you the latest and most important information that you need to know. Tim from Wales says, my Instagram reels are getting 10 times the views over YouTube Shorts and TikTok at the moment. Brock, I just got back from Vid Summit with some of the Think Media team, and word on the street from multiple creators was they were like, dude, reels are going crazy, man. Reels are like getting organic reach that I haven't seen in a long time on any platform. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was fortunate enough, kind of lucked into it. I did catch a leprechaun with being on TikTok in early 2019. So I think TikTok really blew up in 2020 during quarantine. Everyone's at home watching TikTok and it kind of blew up. But I think I was really fortunate to get on TikTok super early. I think that was one of the first times I was on a platform in the early days. And so I got to experience what that rapid growth was like. Every single one of my videos was going viral and reaching thousands and thousands of people. And what I've started to see is that for the last year, Instagram has been that way with Reels and it hasn't changed. And even right now, the train hasn't left the station. You can still hop on the Reels bandwagon and start to see massive growth, organic reach, and success with Instagram Reels.
Wow, the train hasn't left the station. Number one, you got to be using Reels. Number two, hashtags don't carry the weight they used to. Might be a waste of your time. Number three, video is king. Major IGTV update. Number four, all engagement is good. Get that engagement. But shares, power tip, is maybe one of the best ways to reach new people because they're sharing it with their community. Did you sneak in tip number 5, or do we have another tip here, Brock?
I have another one for you. I have another one. And this one might be the most important one that I want people to hear and understand.
All right. Well, drop it on us and then we will answer some questions. So drop a question in the
Absolutely. So number 5, the more you post, the more you grow. And I was looking back through my own Instagram, and even about 2 years ago, I was anti this tip. I was saying, don't post too much or you will overwhelm your audience. Don't post too much or your posts will compete against each other. Don't post too often or people will unfollow you. And I no longer believe that's the case. And now with over 1 billion people on Instagram, I think that it's necessary to post more in order to grow. So I think if you want a goal to set for yourself, I think your goal should be at least 1 post a day. Everyone wants to know the minimum. That's your minimum. 1 post per day if you want to grow on Instagram. If you want serious growth, if you want maximum growth, it's 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 feed posts per day. I'm not talking about stories right now. I'm just talking about the feed posts. So the reels, the carousels, the videos and the plain image text posts that you make on your Instagram profile, multiple per day in order to grow. And the reason for that is that there's way more people on Instagram now. So there's way more competition. There's way more fish in the sea. And so in order to make sure that your posts are seen at all and you're not out of sight, out of mind, you need to be posting more.
Man, super powerful. And we understand the power of consistency and even quantity on YouTube if we can keep the quality of those posts high as well. drop in the comments if you can discover the secret graffiti word that is in Brock's studio set. I don't think he wrote it, but let me know if you can read it as the Where's Waldo of the day. Today's episode is brought to you by the free 3-day Grow Your Gram Bootcamp. If you're loving this Instagram information, obviously there's so many tips Brock could get into about earning money, about sales, about engagement, about DMs, about how do you do it all, about systems, about batching, about stories, about all this kind of stuff. bestigtips.com. Make sure to register. It's coming up. It starts October 12th through the 14th. It is live. It is free. So you're going to want to register so you can actually be there and attend, and check out YouTube. Check out the description. Check out the link in the description down below. Extra points for those guessing the graffiti word scare. Brock, you should go down there and tag that bridge with like your Instagram handle. Like
I
that
absolutely
would be,
should. That would be great if I was like, there's my Instagram handle. And I just pointed to the graffiti on the freeway out of my Seattle window.
Or if like you were doing like a challenge or something and a training, a boot camp, and someone was out there like making a mural, and then you're like, and then it was like you're like, and that is why reels are so important, and they like reveal it, and it's like reels is written on the bridge, all like pretty. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's funny. So definitely jump into the boot camp. Hey, if you have a question, drop a question. We're going to take a couple questions, and I'm going to have a quick bio review crash course on my bio from Brock. But Andy asks, should IG content be unique, or can you get away with posting YouTube clips?
I think you can get away with it. But Sean, there's something that I've heard you say before, which is that every platform has its own dress code. And the dress code on YouTube is longer form videos, oftentimes horizontal or landscape style videos. And on Instagram, that just doesn't work as well. And it's just a difference of where we're consuming. We're watching YouTube oftentimes either on our phone turned sideways, or on a laptop screen, a computer screen, or on the TV. On Instagram, we don't watch it sideways, we watch it vertical. So the videos should be vertical, but as long as they're shot in the right format, and as long as they look like they were made for Instagram or for Reels, I think it's okay to post your YouTube videos onto Instagram. I just think make sure it's fitting what people expect on Instagram. And as of right now, people don't expect long form videos. They're not watching videos much longer than 3 or 4 minutes on Instagram. Most people are preferring videos that are less than a minute on Instagram. So just make sure you are dressing up your video content appropriately to fit the platform.
That's amazing. If you haven't followed Brock, you can also study his kind of reel strategy over here. Here's some of his reels from 11K recently posted to 297,000 views. And Brock definitely is dropping massive Instagram value. So check him out over here. But Brock, I just noticed something, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have guides. What is this guides tab?
Yeah. Guides is something that you have it once you post it. So once you post a guide, then you'll have this little guide section. And guides are something that Instagram came out with about a year ago now. And they never really caught on much popularity. And that's just because they don't have a reach. When you put together a guide, it doesn't get shown to people. It doesn't show up anywhere. It's not searchable. So it's just kind of something that exists on your channel. You can kind of think of it like a playlist on YouTube. Imagine if you could, take a playlist and put it on your channel, except for that's not really popular and they can't be, found. I can't just be scrolling through Instagram and find someone's guide. It can really only be found if I'm looking at your profile. But what is cool about guides is you can take your own posts, and you can take even posts from other people's accounts, and you can put them all together into one playlist and, title it something that's all related to one topic. Like I think you were just scrolling through one of mine about engagement tips or something like that. They just haven't caught on much popularity, and they don't really help you grow your following. So it's not really something that I recommend people spend much time thinking about or looking into.
Great tip. A great question came in about monetization, but I want to transition into your money tips about what could I do to maybe level up my bio, or what are some things I should be thinking about that the Coffee with Cannell community could also maybe do an overhaul in their bio, their profile, that you maybe see here on
Huge.
Sean
Yeah.
Cannell on Instagram.
Absolutely. So if you're watching right now, make sure you listen up, because this is something that a lot of the small tweaks that I'm about to give Sean are things that you could make on your account as well. The first two boxes that I want to check off and give you an A+ grade on are, first of all, your username. It's your first and last name. Way to go. Checked off that box. And second, your profile picture. It's a high quality, well lit, close up selfie. The background has been removed, so it's just a solid color, so it really pops off the page. Love what you've done with the username and the profile picture. Next, and this is a change I would recommend you make. You see where it says Sean Cannell the second time? Yep, right there. That is what's known as your Instagram name, and that is arguably the most searchable area on your Instagram profile. So, because it says Sean Cannell again, the only way that someone can really right now search and find your profile is if they're searching Sean Cannell. So, what I would recommend you do, and what I would recommend everyone watching do, is on that line, give yourself a title, give yourself something that people would be searching, give yourself some sort of like recognizable title. Yeah, YouTube strategy, YouTube strategist. I think on mine it says IG expert, top podcaster, YouTube coach, things like that. Whatever it is that you do, whatever your niche or your industry is, that's what should go in that name line, because it's highly searchable. And we don't need to have your name because we already have your name up in the username.
And you don't even need the name, or should I do both?
You can do both. It doesn't hurt to do both. I know there's only a certain amount of characters that you can put there. So you can do both, but we don't necessarily even need your name because it's already in your username.
Woo! Real-time updates here. Coffee with Cannell
Love
crew.
that.
We got those money tips.
Yeah.
And then how's the bio look, and what should I be doing with these highlights?
Yeah. So highlights, very similar to guides. There's something that not a ton of people watch. I like to keep my first 2 or 3 highlights updated. And my first 2 or 3 highlights are like an about me, which I see you have. I like to have a highlight maybe relating to whatever my current offer is, or whatever it is I'm trying to promote, or whatever I get asked about all the time. So if I'm always getting asked, hey, do you have a link to this video? Or, hey, can you tell me more about this thing? I'll create a highlight around that just so I can easily direct people to it. But besides that, highlights, they're just not that commonly watched. They don't really make that huge of a difference in terms of people following you. But the one highlight that we have seen that people really do like to watch and engage with is an about me, which I know we're watching yours right now. It can be a great way to just kind of introduce your followers to who you are and give them like a crash course into, hey, you're following me now, get up to speed. Here's your baseline. And so an about me, I've seen people call it start here. That's a great way to get people to actually click on it. But ultimately, overall, I wouldn't put too much of a stress or importance on highlights in general.
Amazing. And then my bio, Brock, do you think it's
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
Let me get back there.
Yeah, let's pull that up. Overall, I like the way your bio looks. I think it reads pretty much ABC the way we want it to. The A is who do I serve, or what's my niche? And so yours says, I help people build their influence with YouTube. I would challenge you, Sean, to get more specific than just people. Who are those people? Who are the video influencers? That's what I would challenge you. And that's what I would challenge everyone to answer in the first sentence of their bio. Who specifically do I help or do I serve? And then the second part is, how do I serve them, or what do I help them with? So Sean helps people with their influence, build their influence with YouTube. So that's his what. That's what he does. And that's what I'm challenging him is to get even more specific with who that group of people is. The second part of your bio, I think you did it excellently, is kind of just like establishing your credibility. So Forbes top 20 YouTube channel for business. Check. Awesome. Perfect. That's some serious credibility that establishes why we should trust you and follow you. And then you have a call to action, which I think is awesome. That's the C in the ABC formula. You have a call to action at the end of your bio. Yours says, watch my brand new video on YouTube here. I like it because it's going to drive some traffic to your YouTube. And if that's the purpose of your Instagram channel, your Instagram profile is to drive people to your YouTube, that's totally fine. The one thing that I will say is that might be driving people to your YouTube and not driving them to actually press the follow button and stay engaged on Instagram. So, there's pros and cons to that. And at different times, I change my call to action. Sometimes it's telling people to go to a link. Sometimes it's telling people just to follow me. So you can change up that call to action at the end of your bio pretty regularly, depending on what you want people to do at the moment when they come to your profile.
Sheesh. That's some good killer tips. And I definitely, even my understanding of YouTube is the best way to grow on YouTube is YouTube itself. It's hard to send traffic from somewhere else. And I would think the same would be true on Instagram, that like I think I would much prefer to keep engagement happening there, education happening there, those follows happening there. Man, I got a lot of work to do. And that's why I'm fired up for the boot camp. I have one last question about monetization, but if you're just joining and you haven't heard, Brock is doing a free 3-day Grow Your Gram boot camp with Chalene Johnson and Brock Johnson, founders of Insta Club Hub. And so anyways, that's happening October 12th. Definitely get registered. The ticket is free. And they're going to be breaking down all of this and more in an intensive that you can use so that you can not just get more followers and reach on Instagram, but also make money. And check that out. But a good question kind of came in because I know you know the insider scoop. Tell me about how monetization works on Instagram. And a question somebody was asking specifically about that. I will say this: we just received this last month, our first check from Facebook Inc. Direct deposit for views on Instagram content.
Yeah.
We made $128. And so that definitely beats a poke in the eye and a kick in the pants. But what is happening with Instagram monetization of your videos?
Yeah, some really cool things are going on over there. First of all, you're now able to add an ad or turn on ads, I should say, for your longer videos, what was formerly known as IGTV and what is now just going to be known as Instagram video. You can monetize those and turn on ads. I recommend doing it on all of your videos. You might as well. And I've, like you said, Sean, started to receive checks in the mail from Facebook Inc. from getting plays on my videos. And so far, my Instagram videos, my IGTVs, haven't gone viral. They haven't reached millions of millions of people yet. But turning on those ads has started to monetize them and started to get some AdSense money come in from those videos. Additionally, Instagram is starting to turn on ads for Reels. That's going to be really powerful, of course, because like we've been talking about, Reels have such a high reach and they get viewed by so many people. So your likelihood of earning some monetized dollars from your Reels is going to be really powerful, really cool. And then also, Instagram is offering bonuses now for Reels. So over the summer, they gave bonuses for going live. If you went live on Instagram, Instagram was literally just paying you for going live. Even if no one was watching, even if you only went live for like 15 minutes, Instagram was just paying people bonuses of a couple $100 per live video, which was really cool. And now they're bringing that same idea or that same incentive to Reels. So starting in 2022, they're going to start paying people depending on the performance of your Reels. You get a couple thousand views, they're going to pay you a couple $100, which is going to be really, really cool. And of course, they're beefing up the Instagram shop and they're allowing people to run ads on Reels. So I think they're really trying to help out the creators and pump more thought and more tools out relating to monetization.
Wow, so many money tips in this episode, and people are grabbing their tickets for the boot camp.
Awesome.
And so I want to honor Brock's time today. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. If you got value today, you could definitely connect with Brock on Instagram to learn more, but do not miss the free boot camp. And that's coming up. You have some time to get registered, make some plans, get your journal ready, get your notes ready. What you'll discover is just as much value as Brock added in this video. Him and Chalene Johnson, who you may just be meeting them, but we've been collaborating over the last 5+ years, 7 years maybe. Besides Instagram and YouTube stuff, we both are avid and passionate snowboarders. We've been in Park City snowboarding together. So Brock is actually is absolutely a world-class human and a world-class business and social media expert that I can't recommend enough. So don't miss the boot camp. The URL is bestigtips.com. There's also a link in the description down below so you can get registered. Brock, The future of Instagram, I'm convinced here, but for those that also say, man, there's so much to do, there's so many places to invest my time, and what if is this thing on the decline? Like if I get started now, am I late to the party? Or like, what's the future projections? We've been seeing that YouTube is adding more users and more functionality, much like Instagram. So just kind of what's your nutshell vision of where Instagram is going and the opportunity there?
Yeah. So really when I think about social media and the future of it, I think that there's kind of like a big three that I'm noticing right now. I think YouTube is one. I think YouTube is always going to be here to stay. I think long form video content, YouTube has established a presence, its searchability, all of the different features and tools that it's constantly adding and upgrading. I think YouTube is absolutely awesome. I think that TikTok is also here to stay. I think that TikTok came onto the scene with a burst a year ago, and people are just really loving it. I think that there's a powerful algorithm there. But what I think TikTok is lacking compared to YouTube is I think where Instagram fits in onto the scene as the kind of third of this three-headed monster, where it is designed for mobile, yet it has so many tools and so many different functions. It has so many different kinds of content to really make all people happy. Whether you do long form video, you do short form video, you do pictures, photography, text posts, you're all about stories and vlogging and documenting lifestyle sort of stuff. If you love live videos, if you love just connecting with people in message threads, I think that Instagram really has all of that to offer. And from what we've seen in terms of the actual data and the actual numbers, Instagram is really adding a lot more users. They're now over 1 billion users on Instagram. They're continuing to add more specifically for creators and for entrepreneurs and for business owners. So I really do think that Instagram is definitely here to stay. They're adding users and they're growing in popularity as well, while seems like it's kind of a mixed bag of reviews around Facebook these days. Seems like a lot of Facebook users are migrating to spend most of their time on Instagram. And I think that's only going to, of course, be beneficial for all of us using Instagram in the future.
Wow. And the interesting thing too about what you were just talking about these big three is that you have Reels, you have, of course, TikTok, and then you have YouTube Shorts. And we know a lot of creators and people we partner with and collaborate with that are creating content in such a way that they're creating it without the music, so they can use the trending music on each platform, integrated organically from that platform, and they're crushing it with YouTube Shorts, TikToks, and Instagram, and repurposing and cross-promoting, or rather uploading them natively to each platform and getting a lot of leverage and reach out of those. So I would completely agree when it comes to social media platforms to be focusing on. And that also would be a good, time-saving tip. How am I going to have time to do it all? We actually have a TikTok now. It's called The Official Think Media. And so we have seen some great impact from some of our YouTube Shorts that then we'll post on TikTok later, maybe remix it a little bit, post it on Reels later. And so we're getting so much more leverage and saving time, because that's one of the huge keys in this thing.
Absolutely. You can kill 3 birds with 1 stone, because a Reel can become a TikTok, can become a YouTube Short, all 3 at once. And they can be pretty much the exact same video with just a few minor tweaks.
Yes, man. Brock Johnson, really grateful for all the value you dropped today. So many questions are coming in. If you want to connect with Brock more and learn more about Instagram, hit up the Bootcamp at bestigtips.com. It's starting in just a few days. And smash the like button if you got value out of this session today. Now, listen, Brock was actually on the Think Media podcast recently. So if you are looking for something else to watch and you want to go deeper with strategy from him, just click or tap the screen to watch that video. And I cannot wait to see you in the next episode of Coffee with Cannell. Take care.